سبيل الدموع سبيل
You may be very new to this whole world and industry and online business on entrepreneurship. Now you being an introvert, you would be like so overwhelmed just by reading the topic idea. What's the topic? It's like 5 reasons why raw and unscripted content makes a deeper impact. Now you might not even know what this is, but stick along and we are going to talk about 5 different points. But before even going that, we are going to talk about 3 different stories that I have for you. We are just going to, it is going to set a context of where we are going forward. And thank you so much for joining this particular video. I am Fazil Ahmad Shah. Fazil, Fazal, that's how it's pronounced. And now we have a community called the Academy of Artists and Scientists, or the World of Artists and Scientists, where you apply art and science. You involve yourself and have fun. You apply right and precise strategies to get a predictable result. That's what entrepreneurship journey is about. That's what introvert entrepreneurship journey is about. An idea to an execution is all it takes when it comes to introverts, and we are lost in these two words. Like we all introverts have an idea. What we lack is execution, and the whole goal of the community that we have introvert the whole goal of the Academy of Artists and Scientists is fast track from going from all the way from an idea to an execution. That brings me to the first story. Before even story, raw and unscripted content pieces like that, it doesn't happen overnight. Okay, it takes a lot of experience and it takes a lot of practice. With now that being said, the first story that I want to share with you is when I was back in school, we had one of the greatest principles that I ever had in my whole life called, I'm not going to name that person, but then if you were a part of ISJ, you know who I'm talking about. That guy, we used to go, I was a backbencher, we used to sit way back in the auditorium. It was a huge auditorium, and there used to be debates back and forth, to and fro, and we used to get invited because we were the students of it. We had to listen to stuff. We were also given a chance of getting participated. We never did that. I used to be just sitting in the back and just having fun with the folks. But when principal used to walk inside the particular auditorium, we used to go shush. And what was interesting about, and that had become a goal of my life. Like I was just in 10th and 11th and 12th, and that became a goal of my life. Goal of my life, not five. Goal of my life. When he used to walk, he used to be pretty busy, so he used to come towards the end of the debate that used to go on. And probably he would have been doing so many different things in his life, working on so many different projects and stuff like that. But when he used to come for that particular debate, he used to come sit, see what's going on, and he was by the host they used to give him an opportunity to talk on both to and fro of the given topic. And he used to go there, he used to convey a message without being scripted. He was very raw, not reading any single line from a paper. He used to just go through, glance the topic, and just used to talk about it. I was like, that is the level where Fazil needs to go at some point. Point number one. Point number two. And that dream started coming true from past couple of months. So that was story number one. The story number two is, recently I am coaching a member. Now she recorded her first ever course videos and she sent me, Fazal, is it great? I was like, what you want, your first ever video that you have recorded doesn't seem like a first ever video. You know why? Because she did not scripted it out. She was making fun of her own self just by saying, it's like, you're going to probably she was recording me and she was saying, you're going to probably laugh because I have got a script which I'm not going to read, and this is going to be very weird for me recording it because now I'm doing it for the first time. If you want to laugh, you can laugh. And just that hook made me connect with her in her first ever video she has ever recorded, because she was not reading from a script and she was saying a direct message to the audience, talking directly, just having a conversation with the people. That's all you have to be doing when you are raw, and when you scripted, you just have to talk to the people eye to eye, have fun, share a story, share a funny story, share a weird story. That's all. The third thing that I wanted to mention before even getting into these fine topics is, there was another member a couple of months back. I was coaching her and she was literally reading word to word from a script that probably she had in front of her, or a teleprompter, and she sent me the script. She sent me a video, Fazal, can you audit this video for me? I was like, what you are doing is you are reading every word. When you're reading every word, people will feel that, because no, you're not having a conversation. I'll tell you, if you read, if I read the script that I've got in front of me, you're not going to even stay here for like even 20 seconds, not even 30 seconds, because I don't know the science behind it, I don't know the art behind it. But then when you are reading in front of Fazal will get sleepy, because I know that you are not having a heart-to-heart conversation with me. You're not even having conversation with me. You're just reading it out. Someone else you have written it, probably you have written it a word to word, but it just doesn't get to me. I want to have a heart-to-heart conversation with you. I just want to have a conversation with you. It's like, I have a problem, you give me a solution, and be very natural about it. That brings us to 5 points. The first point is, when I have nothing in front of me, or just bullet points in front of me, just like in this video, I had 3 stories I had to share, I had 3 context points I had to share, and 5 reasons I had to share, like 5 points I had to share. Now these 3 and 5 gives me a direction of the video. That's all I need. I don't need scripts. Probably you need scripts when you start off. When you start off recording, when you start off this journey, probably you don't have that muscle memory built yet. But over a practice, over the more you vocalize it, you get that time. The point number 1 is like, it gives me space to breathe. How do you say that? Breathe. It gives me space to breathe. Now when I breathe, when I don't have the whole script in front of me, just point number 1, give me space to breathe. Now when I have just that point, I can talk anything that I want to talk, or probably what's so important I feel at the moment goes for point number 1. It just gives me a direction. Okay, I just want to talk about probably architectural designs today. That's all I'm going to talk about. I just want to talk about why is it so important to not look in the eye of the camera. It's like, how can you look so many other different places and talk? It just gives me a direction, bullet point, just give me direction of what to talk, and anything that I want to talk about, which I feel is important at the moment, that goes first. That brings me to point number 2. Brings directly to point number 2. The best of my mind at the moment goes for you. Now, even that also brings us to point number 3, the way with the friends. For example, when you are talking to a friend on a specific subject that you're going to record, for example, the topic that you're going to talk about with a friend is, how can you communicate better? How do you overcome stage fear? How do you overcome stage fear, Fazal? So if that's the question, if someone has asked me, not even someone, if my friend asks me, okay, how do you overcome stage fear? I'll be like, I won't go back and read the notes I've taken a couple of weeks back, couple of months back. I won't go do research on it. I won't go put a YouTube video and it's like, okay, this is what you have to do. I don't do that. I don't read a blog and come back. What I would do is, I would just go what's best of my mind at the moment. I won't even go script 5 points and come back. It's like, can you wait for like next 30 minutes? I'll just go script it out and come back. I wouldn't do that, because now he has asked me a question and I know he's expecting an answer. What I would do, I wouldn't even think. I would just go with the flow. Okay, this is what you have to do. This is what you have to do. This has helped me. This was a mistake that I did. You shouldn't be repeating this. And this is a great example of public speaker, that he did these things and I implemented those things, and I just went inside and went on the street and did deliver this piece of content. Bam, 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 boom, 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 like point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4. What's so important at the top of your mind goes immediately. Point number 1. What you feel is very important for them at the moment goes for them. And one of the things that I core believe is, what you have to hear at the moment comes through my mouth eventually. Almighty. It's like, I don't even have to think about it. I don't even have to worry about it. For example, if I'm saying a very funny example without even me scripting it out, is because it was so important for me to say you at the moment. And it was so important for you at your stage to even receive it. Probably it was funny for me. Probably it would be inspiration for you. Probably it will be inspiration for me. It would be funny for you. Whatever that is. So what is so important for you, and top of your mind, goes with the flow. Point number 3. Point number 4 is, this is going to be game changer for you. Think about having conversations instead of releasing a content. Think of having a conversation instead of doing a webinar. Think about having a conversation instead of recording an online course. Think about conversation. Replace every piece of content that you're going to release. Workshops, webinars, meetups, sessions, one-to-one calls, masterminds, YouTube video and podcast, whatever that is, like that's one category. Replace the whole category with the word conversation. When you replace the word with a conversation, now you crack jokes. You say some weird little story that you've got on tell things that's on the top of your mind. There is no filter. When there is no filter, there is no transparency. When there is no transparency, the authenticity is on peak. When there is the authenticity on the peak, people directly connect with you. Because when you're on a phone call, you don't read anything. You are just talking what you feel like talking. When you're talking to a friend, you just empty what's in you for a specific subject. Now when you empty, that's why you have friends where they listen to you so much and they reply to you, they have a conversation, they get over a coffee. You have that long lasted relationship with them. Why? Because you're not reading scripts. It's very raw. You're just talking your heart out. Even if it's on topic, you are just voicing out in point basis, in reasons, in mistakes basis. Just replacing the whole formal words with a conversation. Just keep your friend inside the mind. The more raw you get, the more authentic you get. The more unscripted you go with just having few pointers, the more you will bring long lasting audiences and members and they start connecting with you. Point number 5. I think we have covered point number 5 as well. Point number 5 is authenticity and transparency, which leads to connection of the audience. We've kind of covered all 5 points in like one point in itself. Now, point being, even if you have to talk about authenticity, again, the more you are transparent to people, the more you are authentic. Your stories, any weird little story, any funny little story, any important story, the stories can be yours. It can be your friends, it can be your families, it can be a story, the friend that has narrated to you. It can be a story you got probably inspired by a movie, or probably a song, or probably an album, or probably you're just walking down the street and you saw an incident, you saw someone doing something so very cool or unnatural or probably natural in a grocery store. It was like, great, that story is what goes for my particular content. Great, boom, building connection with the audience. That's how authenticity builds. If you just go walk through all 5 points, give me space to breathe if I'm raw. Second, the best of my mind comes at first. Third one, the way we you just have to talk to a friend, just think them as a friend. Fourth, replacing all the formal words with the word conversation. Fifth one, authenticity and transparency. How does that come? Just talk to them. And if you're scripting it out, the authenticity doesn't come. If you're just going out there and it's like blah 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 blah, the more you do blah blah, the more crispier the blah blah gets. The more crispier the blah blah gets, the more precise the blah blah gets. The more precise the blah blah gets, now I'm turning it to a very funny blah content piece. But then the more precise the blah blah gets, the more serious the results they get. The more serious the results get, the more you get happy. You get views, you get comments, you get money, you get a transaction, and when you sleep, you feel very satisfied and fulfilled as an introvert entrepreneur. Thank you so much for making me this topic and the video or the audio a part of your day. I'm going to see you in another video or a podcast.
سبيل الدموع سبيل مريح تنهدى يا صاحي كي تستريح